Okay, there we go. Well, that's better, inherently. Oh, yeah, much better. So we're just going to do the guest Wi-Fi going forward. Well, so anyways, but yeah, I mean, obviously, you got to be really happy with the kind of the response though from the guys after going down 4-1 after the second period to come back and make that a one-goal game.
Yeah, I mean the guys did a good job at battling in there. It was you see some hope and belief in the team when you start to tilt the ice a little bit, and that's what our guys started to do there. And you know it's when you pull the goal, you're making a big risk. One shot on net, it's a goal against. So I mean that's a risk that we're always trying to achieve, and able to get 1 point out of it to tie it up, or two to push the OT, and or get it in OT or shootout. So I mean for our guys, they really battled back. I thought really well in that Saturday night game.
Yeah. Well, talking about it as well with Lone Star, last time around, that Saturday game, didn't get the win, but that was really probably the strongest performance so far of the season, despite losing the game from this side. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean we've had a lot of strong performances with the guys, and yeah, that was a good one there. Ultimately didn't get the win, and you know, every time you don't win, it kind of stings and burns a little bit. So it's always good fuel for our guys to utilize, and the way that we held off Lone Star there to, I think it was like 8 shots the whole 60 minutes, was a really good defensive game out on our end for our guys, and how they were out there and executing, and we just weren't getting the pucks past their goaltender. Their goalie played really well, on the 33 shots that we gave him that night.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's kind of that time of the year where it's crunch time, and you're going to start getting a lot of a jam-packed scheduling here for all these teams. No one really getting a break anymore in their play. And for you guys, I mean, obviously, how much of that comes down to conditioning, just gym strength, just kind of making sure that these guys coming into the last few months of the season, because there's only about 4 months left of the regular season, really got that kind of just extra boost to power through it.
Yeah, I mean, like our guys, there's really no conditioning involved. They should be pretty well in it. It's all about body maintenance now. So our guys are working out every day, and we're fortunate enough to we're going to be starting some more yoga here at a studio, and we're well maintenance that way. And what we do on the ice in practice is always high intensity, and really no rest in practice. It's always go, go, go. So the guys grab the water on the fly. So that's where they'll get their conditioning and everything that they do.
Yeah, well, Andrew's asking, guaranteed fight night, will Wildfang have another meltdown? Throw a clipboard, swing sticks at players. Hill versus Wildfang at center ice. So, what do you have to think of? What do you think about that? You versus Dan Wildfang, center ice during the intermission, little intermission show.
Hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Dan, he's a good coach, and obviously he hasn't. His last 2 years has been suspended. One of them being in Amarillo, so he hasn't really gone off the rails, in that way. This year he's been very good on the bench, and he really, he's one of the best coaches in the league. So for us, I mean, we don't want to focus too much on what the other coach is doing. We want to try to execute what we can in our game, and making sure that we're doing what we can to continue developing our guys and the way that we play the game, both physically and mentally.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of these promotional events. Obviously, Guaranteed Fight Night, there's going to be fighting up on the concourse for one of those nights. That's that Friday night game, Guaranteed Fight happening that night. And then also, Saturday is a big one as well. It is Heroes of Healthcare. That's one where anyone who's a healthcare employee gets into the game for free. I mean, just kind of.
That's awesome. Like, thank you. like all those who are showing up for the free ticket, thank you for the service that you do. That is absolutely big time. I know my grandmother worked in a hospital, and so did my mom for a little bit when I was younger. So really appreciate those who work in healthcare and all that they're doing there.
And then that Sunday game, 6 p.m. Puck drop for that one. As always, doors open an hour before the game starts. But as well, that is another night where people can get in for free. 55 and free geezer nights. Anyone who's 55 and older with a valid ID gets in for free. I mean, those are 2 back-to-back games where people got a good opportunity to come watch some good hockey. I mean, these guys at home and on the road always put on a great showing. It's really exciting hockey to watch. And I mean, I think one of the biggest things that goes into that as well is now you're getting a lot of these guys back who have been banged up. You know, there's been periods of times where guys have been sick, but you kind of are out of, you know, a lot of guys being unavailable. Now you got a lot more guys. That selection headache, I mean, what does that do for you? Is it kind of difficult at times thinking about, you know, who do I put out there on any given night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough decision when you have 24 guys all in the locker room that are really showing up to practice. So it's best that they make my job hard in that decision on who's making the lineup. And it's great that, you know, that we're pretty healthy for the most part, no sicknesses, and our injuries are very minimal. Guys could play through whatever bumps and bruises they have, and they just starting to be more warriors out there. So you love seeing the guys making sure that they're taking care of their bodies the right way. And it's, like I said, it's all body management from here on out. They should have had a point for their season where the conditioning kind of takes over with, you know, just the longevity of the season. And so now we're down the long stretch here, going into, you know, the final, 27 games of the season here. And so for our boys, it's they need to continue making the decision hard and difficult on me on who's going to be in the lineup. And when they do that, it's you generally have a higher competing team. And you know, early on we had over, I think it was 120 games missed by player injuries and IR players up to the midway point of the season. That's a lot of players down, you know. And now we're healthy, and it's you know, kind of exciting seeing our guys in their battling in practice and just going through the ringer right now, because, you know, we know where we're at, and we know what we need to be doing to claw our way out of this. And guys show up at the rink and with good attitudes and ready to work and ready to get better. And it's been you know, every week I get excited because of our execution and what we're doing, and it's all about trying to leave it on the ice for not only the players but myself as well.
Now, this is that time of year we talked about it a little bit before, where you start to look at the future as well. I mean, that's always got to be on the mind for any organization in junior hockey. You're going to start to look at players that are going to be available for whether it's drafting, tendering. To you, what would you say? How would you sum up a pitch to a player that's looking at a couple of different teams that separates Amarillo Wranglers from somebody else in this league?
I mean, you look at the location, you look at the ownership here. There's so many positives to being in Amarillo. The rink, the facilities, unbelievable. Our access in our gym that we have at Contagion Athletics, you know, having a 40-yard turf indoor with every single lift imaginable that you could use, every piece of iron that you could touch or that's ever been invented is probably in that place. And I mean, you look at the community here, our travel is the shortest, least amount of travel time in the South Division, unless your bus gets broken down in San Antonio, then it's a longer travel day. But, you know, it's, there's so many. I think it's such a great, easy sell. You get players like we got a couple players in right now. One of our tender players is in here, and he's I guarantee, like when I talked to him earlier today, he was like, he gets him fired up. He's excited, the way that we do everything day to day. It's all about showing up and being ready to work, and everything that we have access to, and all the open ice, all the workout facilities, recovery rooms, and all this stuff. Our medical staff. Um, like Brandy and Austin have really put this organization in a good spot to give success and development for these players, and it's pretty awesome having all the amenities and everything that we have for this hockey club.
Yeah, and then last question before we have Lucas Stern join us on the air. Promise no goalie questions for him this week. Well, recently the Wranglers announced that they are venturing into the Tier 1 space of junior hockey in the North American Hockey League. Kind of just explain for the folks tuning on in what that means, where the team's going to be playing, because it's not going to be down here in Texas. It's actually going to be up north in the Midwest.
Yeah, so our team's based out of Hudson, Wisconsin. I believe it was the city. But that's going to be the affiliate of Wisconsin. It's just expanding our scope and expanding our family for player development underneath the Wranglers umbrella, and it's great that we're getting in touch with the NAP Tier 1 and all that stuff. It's a great announcement. It's great for our organization. Not necessarily like hockey in Amarillo, but it does in a sense build relationships and youth hockey programs that are affiliated with the Amarillo Wranglers. And all of it's, we have Corey Hunt, who's head manning that, doing a really good job of, building that up. And it's, I think going to be really good for this organization to expand into that NAP league. So it's, I'm excited to see what that future has and brings it into that. Because he's had success in programs that he's built up before, and he said he's ready to do that for us here for the Amarillo Wrangler organization. And I think it's great on two accounts that are happening here in Amarillo hockey, both West Texas Wranglers and the NA3, to build a good feeder system that builds into a good NA feeder system. So we got all these moving parts in the last 12 months here in Amarillo that I think have been going exactly in the right direction that they need to, just for growth as an organization and to build awareness of the Wrangler name outside of Texas. So it's pretty awesome.
Great. Well, Coach, thank you so much for hopping on, and again, thank you to your wife for being the tech genius that she is.
Yeah, sorry for those technical difficulties.
Hey, you know what? I'd rather happen tonight than during free games on the weekend. So we also got to hope for no power outage. Well, first of all, Coach, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Well, I mean, it could be worse. We could be stuck at a gas station for 10 to 11 hours, but, we're here. We're enjoying some good company. We got some fans and some people that are excited and ready to watch some good hockey. Free games, 3 days of great hockey at home at the Budweiser Bullpen Amarillo Civic Center. Well, we got two guys here with us tonight from the Amarillo Wranglers NA team, and just kind of, for the people listening in, talk a little bit about their game, what they bring to this team. Let's start out with Ian Bjors. He's come back from injury, got a few games under his belt now. What does a guy like Ian bring to this team?
He brings a lot of skill, and he brings a gigantic compete level. I mean, even though he was out, unfortunately, with injury for a while, he was staying on the ice, and he was being a great teammate. Still working on his own craft, whether it was skating. I mean, he learned how to take a really good one-handed slap shot, and it was honestly kind of impressive when he was playing around with it. And I was talking with him, but as soon as he got his other wrist back and he was
he was medically cleared. Immediately he's jumping in. He's playing the body, and are we still going or?
They said they can hardly hear you. Andrew, we just turned up his levels a little bit. Let us know if you can hear Lucas better.
Are we good now?
Yeah, you should be good now. You're hitting up into the reds.
I mean, we'll wait for Andrew to say if we're good or not.
Much better. All right. Perfect.
All right. No, Veers is as soon as he got medically cleared to go back full contact for practice. He was jumping in. He was getting physical in the corners, and he just provides a gigantic boost to our skill level on top of the depth that we already had. He skates well. He's got really good lateral movement, and the way that he just sees the ice, like he just creates space for himself. He's a very slippery skater where he's just able to get onto pucks and then really find that open space where he can put himself into a good opportunity to make a play, whether it's find a seam, make a pass, or really just put the puck on net. And as good of a shooter as he is with that, as good of a shooter as he got to be with just his bottom hand, now that he has two hands again, it's even better. So we're excited to see what he can do now that he's got some games back under his belt, and he's just going to add even more depth to the lineup that we really have already.
Yeah, now talk to us about Oleksiy Koval, international out of Ukraine, but he does not actually take up an international spot, which a lot of teams can, oftentimes have to worry about juggling, we only have so many spots for international players, but to be able to get an international player without having to sacrifice that spot's a huge opportunity for this organization. Well, talk to us about Koval's game. What have you seen out of him? And he's a younger player as well. He is an 08.
Yeah, he's really come a long way this season. At the start of the season, he was still getting adjusted to the pace a little bit, but he's a player that we see a really bright future with. He's one of the hardest workers that I've coached, and he's just so coachable that he's always got a smile on his face. He's always in a good mood. If I'm talking to another defenseman on the bench and showing him something on my game card or the chalkboard, then I'll catch him. He's poking his head over. He's trying to get a glimpse of what I'm showing, just so that way he can take in as much knowledge as he can. And it's really a credit to him of how how he's learned, how he's taken his development into his own hands, and just taken those leaps and bounds with taking the knowledge that Coach Hilsey and myself have given him, and you can see him putting it into his game. And it's really, last game I think was a great compliment to him, where start of the year he's getting handful of shifts and kind of getting used to the pace, and then last game, like, he just exploded and he was killing plays. He was separating players from pucks, and really just doing everything that we ask on the breakouts, whether it's just underhandling pucks or shoulder checking on retrievals, just all the simple things that defensemen need to do to be successful, not just in the defensive zone, but give the forwards opportunities to get into the offensive zone. And he's getting pucks through when he's in the offensive zone, so really it's just a credit to him of how hard he's worked and how much of a student of the game he's been since being here. And he's just a joy to have around.
Yeah. Well, Andrew's asking if you got any game day ritual yourself, Coach.
Oh man, when I was playing, I think my game day ritual was pretty much just put my gear on right to left, and that was about it. But game day rituals for me now is just make sure that I just get a good view of our pre-scout stuff and just do another glance over, even though, by game day, it's, Coach Hilsey and I have a pretty good understanding of what the other team's trying to do, but for me, I just always want to keep looking at it so that way I know it like the back of my hand. If I have time for like a 30, 45-minute pre-game nap, I'm never going to say no to that, but That happens, on occasion, but otherwise it's just make sure that I have a good meal, get some caffeine in me, and I think the biggest pregame ritual is when we're at home. I just pick up coffee for for Coach Hilsey and I, our trainer Lisa, and just really just want to make sure that guys are taken care of and everyone's sharp and ready to go. But usually it just depends on whether we're on the road or we're at home. But for me, it's always just have something, caffeine, get some water in me, and just be locked in and have some fun on game day.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of how it is for everyone, is that game day ritual approach kind of changes when you're on the road versus at home, because you might not have access to some of those things that you normally have when you're playing at home that might be at your house.
The hotels have coffee, so that's always good, but it's not the same as going to Roasters or going to one of the other coffee shops like Starbucks or something. But I'll take Roasters all day long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Roasters is good. I actually tried I think it's called a Pearl Cold Brew from there yesterday. It was phenomenal. So I need my caffeine every single day.
Yeah, I'm a big Americano guy myself.
Those are good. Well, another question for you. I mean, we talked about it with Coach Hill a little bit as well. Kind of take us into a little bit more of a deep dive about this Tier 1 opportunity where the Wranglers are going to be getting involved up in Hudson, Wisconsin. I mean, really, what does that mean for a lot of these kids to go play up in there in Tier 1 and be a part of the NAPHL and just kind of get experience while also being under the Amarillo Wranglers umbrella?
It's just a really good opportunity for kids to get exposure and just get some more eyes on them and be involved under our umbrella. Just another way to represent the Wrangler name with a lot of pride. And even though they're not located here in Amarillo, Texas, it's still a way that they can, get introduced to what we want to do here, introduced to our values, and just, play against some good competition and just develop in their own timelines where it's a development ladder, right? So, it's another way for kids to take that next step forward without trying to make that jump from single A to triple A. That obviously depends on the region you're in, because that varies within youth hockey what single A, double A means. But it's a really good opportunity for guys to take that next step forward, get some competition against teams that they wouldn't normally play, get to play with some guys they wouldn't normally get to play with, and really just again join that ladder of development for their personal development, get some exposure, and then really just represent us in a positive light.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time as well, I mean, for those who might not know the Tier 1, like this whole NAPHL system, there's been a lot of really good talent that has started there, then played in the Null, and then there's even been guys who've started there, then gone on to the USHL, CHL, D1, D3. So, I mean, it's a really good opportunity at the end of the day. And
I mean, I think one of the best examples of like the NAPHL, and I know that they promote it a lot, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Austin Matthews, you might have heard of him, but he's a pretty good American goal scorer, and he played with the Arizona Bobcats in the NAPHL. So really, it's just a testament to the ladder of development that league puts on. And as you mentioned, like there are some really, really good players that come out of that development pathway and take those next step forward. And there's a reason that teams go to recruit out of that league. It's because they do such a phenomenal job. And I've gotten not to experience it as a coach, but as a referee, getting to officiate within that league. There were some really, really good players that I got to see come through in the years that I officiated there, and kind of lost tabs with following on elite prospects and what they're doing now. But I just remember seeing them going, man, like these kids are so good.
Oh, we got two questions for you from Andrew. Number one, any superstitions you have? Could be game day thing. You got certain ties that are banned, anything like that.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna retire one of the suit and tie combinations that I have. It's one of my favorite ones, but I mean, God, I think I've worn it twice and we've lost both, so that one's going in the trash. But I think for me, just superstitions is really making sure that before going on the bench, I was taking an additional drink of water. Just make sure that I have a voice on the bench, so that way the boys can hear me when I'm saying who's going next or giving coaching feedback, and just making sure that I get that I just do my walkthroughs of getting that 70th time, looking at the other team's pre-scout that Hilsey and I do, and just make sure I have my game card correct, and away we go. So not too many superstitions, but just little things that I want to do to make sure that I'm sharp for each period.
Yeah, I think for me, I just have a tie that I still have to burn. I think like 0-5 with teams while wearing it, 0-6, something like that. So that tie's forever banned.
I'm cutting it next time you wear it.
Trust me, I might need to go tie shopping at this point. I'm running out of ties. All my ties have lost their good luck charm. Well, last question from Andrew is, any thoughts on the USA Olympic roster? Any kind of omissions you think are kind of odd? Any names pop out at you that are you kind of just thinking, wow, I'm shocked this guy's here?
I mean, we're so fortunate to have so many good players in the NHL, even going all the way down to like NCAA. Like, we're so fortunate to have so many good American-born players that we could make a second Olympic team and probably have a really deep lineup. But those guys are so good at constructing teams, and Billy Guerin, he's pretty good at his job being a Minnesota guy myself. I think he does it pretty pretty well for himself with constructing a competitive team, and I just know that they weren't looking necessarily at who's the top point scorer. It's who's the right guy for the job. And but I'm pretty sure that the last time, if anyone's seen the movie Miracle, that they heard those words that we're looking for the right guys, not necessarily the best guys. It ended pretty well for Team USA, and I'm looking forward to watching those Olympic Games. And just enjoying some really good competitive hockey, similar to what it was at Four Nations, and hopefully coming home with hopefully all the American guys are coming home with a gold medal.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you so much for hopping on. You go enjoy your food, and we'll have Mr. Ian Biors join us on the air now. We got one last question for you. Andrew wants to know, what is the end game for Lucas Stern? What is your dream destination as a coach?
End game for me, that's kind of changed over the years. I mean, I'll be, I've gotten the question like, hey, do you want to go to the NHL? Like, would I do it if it came up? Yeah, but for me, like, growing up as a kid, I just wanted to get to Division I and be there. I mean, so end game for me, if it ever comes, coaching Division I hockey at somewhere like University of Minnesota, North Dakota, Bemidji State, like those places, like that's, those places all have ties for me. I mean, I'm so happy in Amarillo with just the ownership with the Sutters, our leadership with Harry Mahood, working with Hilsey. I'm so happy here. I'm in no rush to even make any sort of a jump. I just want to keep focusing on this season here and sticking around here for a long time. So, end game. That's we'll see if that changes as my years go on. But right now I'm just kind of enjoying this season, focusing on getting us into playoffs and doing whatever the team needs. But we'll. As far as end game goes, that's kind of what my initial thoughts were, and if that happens, awesome. If I'm in Amarillo forever, then that's not so bad. That's pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we'll get Mr. Bjors on here, and we'll see if he knows how to talk into a mic here.
Can I get order the boneless wings?
Yeah, you're up.
The shotgun sauce, fire fries, and blue cheese.
The shifty skater himself, Mr. One-Handed Slapshot.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Well, Mr. Ian Bjors, who I famously used to get your name wrong because I was told two different things. I called you Beers one time. I don't know, maybe you just like to party. Maybe that's why I call you Ian Beers, but who knows. Well, I'm just going to say this. They're not drinking during the season, or most of them drinking at all because they're not even 21. Well, first of all, how are you doing? Obviously, you got to be happy you're back home in Amarillo and not sitting at a gas station.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's good to be back in our own beds. It was tough, but it was good. It was a fun time with the boys.
I was gonna say, that's got to be a great team bonding experience. Guys coming up with different ideas as to what they are gonna do while trying to burn 10, 11 hours. You got some guys went to Burger King, a couple guys gone on over to a different gas station. Had some good conversations. Some that will not ever get repeated ever again. Questions being asked that are not some questions that some people should be answering or asking. Let's say that. What stays in the Alamo stays in the Alamo. We'll go with that. I got to say, I'm kind of disappointed we did not conduct a raid on the Alamo itself. We remembered it, but we did not go and claim it for ourselves. We didn't plant the Wranglers flag there. Well, we'll start off with, what is it like being out injured, seeing your teammates play week in, week out, wishing you were out there, but kind of like Lucas said, staying positive, being still a team player while being injured, being there for the guys, helping them with their game as well. What is that kind of leadership like for you? That's got to be difficult, taking that leadership role and helping your guys on the team out despite not being able to play.
Yeah, no, it's hard not playing, but you got to be as positive as you could, because you can't change the outcome. You just got to wait your time, and you just got to be positive, help the boys as much as you can because you're not playing, and yeah, just being positive and just preparing for when you're back in the lineup. That's good.
Yeah. Well, obviously, how good does it feel to be back? You've gotten a few games under your belt since being unavailable due to an injury here. What's it like getting back out onto the ice?
It feels so good, being back with the boys and feeling involved again. Just really great, and can't wait for this weekend, these 3 big games.
Well, I'm sure a lot of fans remember your heroics in that game up in Blaine, Minnesota against Chippewa Steel, that big overtime game-winning goal. That's just got to be a great moment that you'll probably cherish forever, I assume, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'll always remember that as my first NOL goal, and I'll probably be telling my kids about that when I'm older, and I'll always remember it.
Well, you got 2 coaches that used to play hockey themselves, and they've gone and competed at a very high level as well, and they've been able to transition that into a coaching role in junior hockey. Is that one thing that you guys kind of think about as players yourself in junior hockey, with mentorship like this, saying, hey, these guys have been exactly where I'm at before? Does coaching down the road ever come across your minds?
Yeah, for sure. Back home, I played for Team Manitoba and stuff, so in the summers I help with tryouts and stuff, and always going back and helping where I played before. So yeah, for sure, I could see me being a coach in the future.
Gotcha. Well, for you guys, you're at this halfway point, a little bit over the halfway point. Top 6 make playoffs. Coach Hill talks about it all the time. Take it one game at a time. Is it kind of hard sometimes not to get drawn into looking at the standings and looking at things and going, oh, hey, this is where we're at right now. This is what we kind of need to do. Or is it just you guys are able to lock that out and just go, all right, well, we got a game Friday against Lone Star. That's our main priority.
No, we obviously look at the standings, but we got to try to take it one game at a time as best as we could. But we do look at the standings, but we have to focus on the game that we're going to be playing the day of. So on Friday we got Lone Star, so we're just thinking about that game and how we're going to win it.
Yeah. Well, you guys have played against Lone Star before this season. Obviously, you were not available for that series.
Yeah.
But really on that Saturday game, like Coach Hill was saying, limiting them to only 8 shots, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment that some people might overlook because Lone Star is very potent when it comes to their offense. I mean, they are leading this division, and they're up there in the top 5 in the league for goals for. I mean, really for you guys, how do you get them locked and clamped down yet again on the offensive production?
Yeah, for sure. I was in the stands for that game injured. I was watching, and I was really impressed how the boys played. I thought we should have came out on top, but yeah, we just got to stick to the systems like we were learning in practice this week from Coach Hilly, and we just got to play a big, strong, physical game because I don't think people really take that to them. They're usually the ones doing it to people.
Well, I have a couple more questions for you before we have Oleski Koval join us on the broadcast as well. Well, first of all, when it comes to playing on the road, is there anything you guys have to change up, whether it's in terms of preparation? Really, what is it like? That big? Is there a big, like, 1 to 2 differences between playing at home versus on the road? I mean, excluding obviously not getting to sleep in your bed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big one. But what else is there to those road games that really are different?
Yeah, for sure. Like if we're not traveling a far distance, we usually travel the day of, so that like kind of has an impact on how we play. But I think like we get an energizer in, and we should have no excuse when we're on the road. Like we should be playing the same way as at home.
Well, as well, this is a question that is not as serious, but who on the team would you say you kind of hang out with the most? Like, we'll just have some fun with some of these questions. All the fans want to know, kind of what you guys are doing in your off time. Who are some of the guys you like to hang out with outside of practice, outside of, the gym and everything like that? What do you guys like to do? I mean, obviously there's golfing, and we see that, and Lauren did a great job with getting that video of Miller out there.
Yeah.
I was telling Hilly, I said, I don't even golf all that much, but I still think I could beat him at this point. Some of the guys you hang out with, what do you guys like to do?
I probably hang out with Taven McCorser the most. Like that, I live with him, I built with him, and we're from the same spot, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So yeah, probably him and me, Thornton. Who else? Yeah, me and Thornton hang out a lot. So we're always going out, getting lunch, and just hanging out, coming over. Azadi comes over to my billet house a lot. Chuck and Sean come over hot tub all the time in my billet house. So yeah, the boys really like coming over to use the hot tub.
Well, as we start nearing the end of the season, obviously all these guys are starting to have conversations with different universities. For you, outside of that, what is it, besides the hockey, that interests you at university when it comes to your studies? What is it you're looking at going to potentially major in?
Probably business. Like in the future, I'm looking to take over my dad's business, so I want to get into that business part in school. So yeah, and obviously continue playing hockey at that level too.
Yeah. Well, let's say you get done with university, you have a great time, and a lot of guys kind of don't really think about this as an option because when they look at hockey after college, they just look at, well, there's the pyramid, and then and after that the SPHL and the FPHL. If it comes up, I mean, would you take the opportunity to maybe go play over in Europe and get to experience another culture?
Yeah, for sure I would. Like, yeah, it's good to experience different things, and like, yeah, I would for sure go down to Europe and try it out for a couple of years and see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, for you yourself, what would you say has been your biggest improvement so far this season as a player, but also as a person?
Positivity is one as a person because like being injured, like just staying here and being positive, and I think it's created me to be a better person too because I could have just went home and like been by myself, but I just stayed here and was positive and still hung out with the boys and everything. So I think that was good, and I think my biggest improvement in is hockey. I think my defensive zone, I'm really trying to improve that, and I think I have, like sticking to the systems and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's it.
Well, do you got any game day rituals yourself? We were talking to Lucas Cern about that.
Game day rituals. We usually have a morning skate, so do that. Go home, have a little nap, and no rituals usually. I just like to put my skates on before my pants. So yeah, that's the only thing.
Well, we'll ask you one last question before we get Oleski Koval on here. Thoughts about Connor Bedard being left off the Olympic roster? I mean, obviously they say he's injured, but you never know with that kind of stuff.
It is kind of crazy, but like he is young, so like he can't really do anything about it. He'll get another opportunity, because he's still got lots of years in the NHL. But I think he definitely deserves a chance to be there this year. But he's just gotta keep working. I guess he's still young.
Oh, there you go. Great answer. Well, thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you.
And then we'll have Mr. Oleski Koval join us. Yes, you. For anyone who's not met Oleski reminds me of, can't remember if it's a book or a movie, The Big Friendly Giant. Oleski's very tall, nicest kid you'll meet. Very quiet as well. Well, first of all, Koval, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
Great. Well, first of all, halfway through the season so far, you're one of the younger guys on this team in 08. What has been kind of the initial reaction so far to this season for yourself?
I mean, it's a really good experience for me to be here in Amarillo. Even though not playing a lot, I get to practice with older guys that make me better every day. And as I said, not playing a lot, but having an opportunity to learn from older guys what they do, how they do it, is a really good experience for me to have.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Lucas a little bit ago, and he was talking about you, talking about your game, and he said that you've come a long way, and said that that game that you got in on the road in Corpus was probably your best game of the season. So does it feel like you as well, with every passing day, are just continuously getting better?
Yes. I mean, every time I get to play for Amarillo Wranglers, I get an opportunity to try something new and kind of help my team win, but also improve myself, progress as a player.
Well, for you, and it's a mix of some fun questions, some hockey questions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who are some of the guys on the team you hang out with? What are some of the things you guys like to do?
I would say Landon, Poe, Danilo, Doling are probably the closest on the team for me. We just hang out a lot. I usually drive from the gym to practice every day. Our Dunkin' trips. We do a lot of fun stuff together. Sometimes I can go out with a boy play golf and stuff like that. So it's I wouldn't even say that I have the certain group of people I always hang out with. I try to keep a good relationship with everybody, but I would say Danilo and Poe are the closest.
Well, so far this season, teams kind of gone through, like all the teams in the South Division, a lot of series where it's been a split series, one win, one loss. What, in your opinion, is the most impactful thing that this team can learn from a loss in a split series?
I think the biggest thing we can learn is that we gotta play consistent and we gotta stick to who we are. We shouldn't be trying to be somebody we're not. We know our identity, we know how we should be, and we should stick to that. And then if we stick to that, a lot of good things will come our way, and we'll be because we have a really great potential to be a really good team, and we're definitely a playoff team in my opinion. But in order for us to get there, we need to continue staying to ourselves and do what we have to do.
What has been your favorite memory of the season so far for yourself?
I would say this past Corpus game, because I get to see my dad, and then he got to see me play in the NAL for the first time. It was a really, it's a great thing for me because I don't really get to see him a lot, given the fact that he's in Ukraine fighting war, and he's here for a week or so, and it's been great so far.
Well, it's awesome that they're here. I mean, obviously, it's got to be hard for a lot of the international guys who've got family back far overseas. Well, for you yourself, I mean, you've been in the United States for a little bit, but still, kind of what is one of those things that pops out to you as a shock when it comes to American culture?
Could you repeat that?
You've been in the United States of America for a little bit now. I mean, this is not your first time here. And what is still something that shocks you from the American culture standpoint that you just kind of scratch your head at?
Hockey-wise, the physicality. Physicality is really different from European style of play. As you said, I moved here a while ago. I think 2021 is when I moved here. So I haven't been in Europe for a while. but I can tell you one thing: the physicality is absolutely ridiculous. Because here it's super physical. You don't have as much time to make a play because in Europe the ice sheets are bigger, and the systematically they don't really dump the puck in a lot. They try to go in through the pass, through possession. Here you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to dump the puck in because of how much pressure you have on you, and you don't really have that much time to make a play because it's so physical and so fast.
Well, for you, do you have any game day rituals yourself? I know not everyone does, but you got anything specific you like to do on game days?
Specifically on game days, I try to stay off like computer games. I try not to use my phone that much, and it's not like, oh my god, phone away, for the whole day. No, biggest thing for me, what I learned as a player, because I used to overthink things a lot, but what I learned is that you should be not overthinking the game. You should be enjoying hockey, and you should be enjoying the game. So I try not to overdo things, and that's what's been really working for me. Not overdo things, but there's just like some basics, things like gallon of water before a game for sure. Good pregame meal. Just like good sleep, good nap. But I don't do any like special things like anything specific because I feel like it doesn't really work for me. What works for me is try to stick to who I am and just play the game and have fun.
Well, last question for you is going to be: do you have any superstitions?
Superstitions?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think. I don't think so. No. No, I don't think so. No.
Gotcha. Well, Cole,
thank you, Daniel,
so much for joining us for the
Thank you.
show.
Thank you.
And we'll have Galliano join us to wrap up the coach's show. Oh, Galliano, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, first of all, I know that it's not been an easy season for you guys. A lot of people might know. For those of you tuning in that are consistently watching the Wranglers play, the not West Texas Wranglers play, which if you're doing that, what are you doing? When we're on the road, you can go watch these guys at home over at the Ice Ranch. It's a great time. Definitely go support them. You didn't get to play for a while. You had to get some surgery done. But for you, what was it like seeing this organization just from the top down with Austin and Brandy, all the fans, everybody coming around, rallying behind you after you needed surgery, raising money to help pay for all that? I mean, how does that feel personally to you?
Oh, it was amazing. I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for the whole organization, for everyone and what they did for me. Any dollar amount was more than enough from the team and the community and my family. We're so grateful for being at a organization at such high values like the Wranglers, and it was a blessing for that.
Well, for you guys so far this season, you're the new kids on the block in this South Division in the NA3HL, but you've kind of been some Giant Slayer games yourself. In the South Division, you guys have taken games off of some very competitive teams like New Mexico's NA3 team, like Lone Star's NA3 team. So what does that do for the future, kind of just building up confidence? Anything else?
It shows that you don't have to be an established program for a history point of time to make an impact on the league. There's a bunch of new players, and the right type of coaching and structure can separate just really talented players from kids who are really dedicated to the craft and the game and wanting to be better, and that's kind of what we have here at West Texas. We've had some unfortunate losses, but the pieces are all there for future seasons to really, establish ourselves as the top team in the South, and be the team that everyone wants to beat.
Yeah. So what's it like getting to play under Coach Austin Sutter? I mean, he's a very knowledgeable hockey guy himself, played hockey growing up in Canada, so he's got a lot of that knowledge. I mean, he's got a very sharp eye for the game as well. What's it like playing for him?
It's fantastic. Coach Sutter is a very knowledgeable player, or coach, like you said. he really knows what he's talking about, and he's helped change the way I look at the game, and he's brought in different systems that I haven't played before, and he's done a fantastic job at walking us through multiple times in practice and then applying it to the game and executing it in the game. He's very good at work time, fun time, which is a fantastic thing to have. It's really nice to know you can have a fun time with your coach, but also, okay, I need to lock in and get some work done.
Yeah. Well, for you guys so far this season, what has really been the biggest moment, kind of team moment so far?
So I missed some time, but definitely the biggest moment for me was one of our first home game. We played New Mexico. We were down 4-0. We come back in the third period, score 5 straight. They score one more to tie it. Then we go to overtime, and we won that game. And that was just a huge moment for the team for being down at such a large deficit and rallying back and coming out with a victory for the home crowd. And the fans that game were buzzing. They were very rambunctious, and it was an amazing environment to be in.
Yeah. Well, what is it like knowing that while you were playing here, you got a goal right across the street in the Amarillo Wranglers? You got those guys right over there that you can look at as a stepping stone. You're saying, all right, well, I'm here right now with the NA Free team, but that's where I want to be. I mean, that's got to feel great knowing that right across the street you've got an opportunity, especially there's already been a few guys with West Texas getting a call up.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's really nice being that close and affiliated with the NAL team, because you really believe that you have a fantastic shot to move up either the following season or to get that mid-season call-up. And I believe it makes us as players play better because we believe we have a real good shot to make that team if we keep working at our structure, discipline, everything related to it, that you can get to that spot.
Well, I was talking to you a little bit about this before we got started due to tech issues, which thankfully they're hopefully done here but not on the broadcast. We had a power outage a couple weeks ago last time we were at home. Well, you're actually from Illinois as well, so talk about a little bit hockey in Illinois, growing up, what that's like.
Hockey in Illinois is such a fun thing. I played travel for a few years, and that was real competitive. There's kids that will come from all over to play at other towns, and it kind of brings a community together, and you can get an idea of the different areas people are from, how they live. Maybe some of them people talk differently. And then I played high school hockey for 4 years, and that was some of the most fun I've had all of my years playing hockey. The fans, the students, you go to school the next day, you'll see everybody oh, I saw you at the game, blah, 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 oh, it's so cool. Or then they'll say, hey, I'm coming to the game this weekend, can't wait to see you. Especially the rivalry games with schools that are just across, the town next to you. Those games are insane, and it really just having a loud atmosphere in high school, people who really care about it, is just so much fun.
Yeah. Well, we got 3 questions left. 2 of them are for kind of just a fun little thing here, knowing you're from Illinois. First of all, Portillo's order. For those of you who do not know what Portillo's is, it is one of the best places you can get food, not just in Illinois. They do have other locations, but as Illinois guys, we know all about Portillo's. So what's your
It's the best place. I'll get a wet Italian beef or a burger, a side of fries, and then a medium chocolate shake. That's a great thing. But you can never go wrong with Chicago dog. Those are amazing.
Well, and then obviously coming from Illinois, land of deep dish pizza, best place to get deep dish pizza in Illinois, in your opinion?
Oh, there's some good spots.
There is.
I'm going to say Tortorisi's. There's one right by my house. They make one with a caramelized crust. It is fantastic. Illuminati's always a great pick.
Yeah, there you go. Elite ball knowledge when it comes to deep dish pizza. Listen to this guy. Well, last question is, end of the season, coming up fast, faster than we expect. We're already halfway through the season. What is the goal for this team, and what do you think that you guys are going to be able to accomplish in the back half of this season?
So, obviously the goals are the playoffs, and we're going one game at a time. and we wanna shock the world, shock the league. A lot of people have written us off, and we do have a momentous hill to climb to reach that playoffs, that fourth seed. But we believe, as a club, organization, and team, that if we just bond together every single night for each game, just worry about that game, that period, that shift, we can go on, would be great, a 19-game heater and come into the playoffs and beat that first round opponent and just show everybody, we're legit.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you for having me.
And that is going to do it for us here tonight. Wranglers at home Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That Sunday game is a 6 p.m. start time instead of a 7:14. And as a reminder, when the Wranglers are on the road, you can watch the West Texas guys at home over at the Ice Ranch. If you haven't been to a game for either of them this season, highly suggest it. Two great teams under great coaching staffs, under the umbrella of a great organization. So that's going to do it for us for the Coach Show. And again, apologies for the technical issues, and a big thank you to head coach Michael Hill's wife getting the tech issues fixed. So that will do it for us, and we'll be back with another edition of the Coach Show next Wednesday at 6 p.m.